morning, Geeks and Gamers. It's Jeremy, it's Josiah, it's Beardo, it's Geeks and Gamers Daily. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today?
Wow, that's like the most polite way you've ever said.
Fuck Josiah, fuck Beardo, let's go.
I was under the impression he was asking the chat how they were doing because he would never ask us how our day is going.
How's everybody doing today?
How's everybody doing?
Listen,
Chat specifically, because fuck these two.
We had a great Cobra Cast last night. We had a great Battlefront 2 stream yesterday. It was awesome. Geeks Gamers Daily was crushing it. I'm in a good mood. Am I allowed to be in a good mood? Do I have to be toxic Jeremy all the time?
Yes.
The internet wants you to be.
It's weird when you're not. So.
The kick link failed again here on StreamYard.
Yep.
So I don't understand it, man. It just continues to fail. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense.
StreamYards.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense whatsoever.
It works on Restream. Like when I restream to YouTube,
it works on
and
Streamlabs, and
it works.
It works on Streamlabs and it works on Restream, but for some reason it doesn't work on StreamYard. So,
come on, StreamYards, fix your shit.
Lock it in,
man. Let's go.
Lock it in. But yeah, we got a few things to talk about, and we've got a really sorry panel, excluding me because I'm actually good. You know, obviously I know what's going on around here. So, what? No, I'm just correcting the mistake of being nice to you guys. Is that okay? And listen,
I know.
So before the show started, and shout out to Bashy Washy, shout out to Hayden Wayne in the chat, Joe Dog, Keenan's in the house. So right now, before we get started, before the show started, I was telling the guys like, yeah, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about the Secret Invasion. I haven't seen the show, but like this clip, you know, of Nick Fury, and just I was like, oh, what is this? I gotta look this up. I was like, whoa, no. Do not look it up until I show you on the stream if you haven't seen it. Because I think, how long was your gaming stream last night, Josiah?
Like almost 7 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Did Kick crash on you last night while you were streaming?
I heard it kicked. I heard it was like about an hour, right?
Yeah. Kick went down last night. I'm hoping it's because they're doing maintenance and they're working on their shit.
Hopefully. I'm hoping it's because they're getting them hyper chats or giga chats or whatever they're called.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, and the weird thing was that it was still working, so people could actually still watch the stream. You just couldn't like comment or do things like that. So.
And if you refreshed, you were out.
Yep.
You were fucked if you tried to refresh it all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but oh well.
Yeah, that happens. That's the first real problem we've seen from them.
Yeah, so. Even if it was like, you know, even if there was just like an issue going on or something, they fixed it real fast. Like they were on it. You know, it took like an hour for them to get it back up and running again. So it was pretty cool.
Krista told me that like she has a couple of questions for them in like an email, and they respond immediately on email. You know, inquiries and stuff like that. So
that's incredible.
So that's really good, and love what they're doing. Love that platform. I would love to get it to a point where we have this daily stream and every stream over there, but it's just I didn't want to run it like occasionally because sometimes we'll have Beardo screen captures, sometimes not. So I just want to make sure we're consistently doing over there when we do it. But we are on Rumble, so shout out to our Rumble audience over there. And look at all the lovely people in the chat. Why is Rumble better be working? Okay, it is. You know what I don't like is whenever I like have a stream because I open up all these windows for and the audio isn't muted. You know, when I pull the stream up and it throws me off completely. That just happened. Jay's Tig Old Biddies. Y'all seen Usual Suspects? Highly recommended. The Usual Suspects from back in the day. Like that's like a 80s or 90s movie, right? Is that am I thinking about that? Am I right about that? It's been a long time if we're talking about the same movie.
95.
Exactly. Yeah.
95.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I saw that. Blake Barrett says, hail Jeremy Osteen and the 199. Not enough super chats for Jeremy Osteen to show up. But he showed up on Cobra Cast last night. I'll tell you that much. Woo! Woo! The Brie Larson's feet fight happened again.
Oh, man.
Alec Baldwin's finger. And Darius basically, they made sure there was no appearance of Brie Larson's feet. I'll just say that. They made that definitely clear. Blue Shell becomes a new member. Thank you, Blue Shell. And now we've got over 1,000 people watching already. So again, welcome in everybody, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube. Greatly appreciate you guys. Don't forget, tonight we got our member stream Fortnite tonight. So that will be happening. So looking forward to that. But yeah, let's talk about our first story, and that is Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom is getting an international release date now. Awesome. They are rolling it out. This is a film that's already passed well over $100 million domestically. And now here you have Angel Studios saying, you asked, we answered. Sound of Freedom is on its way around the world. Find international showtimes. And there you see the list of several international countries it's going to be in. Let me load up a little bit. And then it says more countries will be added weekly. So I love that this movie is continuing to get all of this traction. It's made whatever 130 million dollars domestically already.
Just a couple million.
Yeah, just a couple million on a $14 million budget. And now it's getting an international release. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know. Could this thing go crazy and hit $300 million worldwide? Could it hit $400 or $500 million worldwide? I mean, I guess that's possible. It really just comes down to what type of traction is it going to get overseas? But I think this is super exciting, and it's just going to continue to expose the clowns that absolutely ignored this movie. The people in the movie sphere, their job is to cover movies. And there's been people, and I'm not gonna name names, John Campia, or Grace Randolph, or a lot of other Chris Stuckman. Shout out Chris Stuckman for completely avoiding this movie to my knowledge as well.
Shout out.
Haven't seen him cover it. And it says a lot about them as individuals. It says a lot about them as individuals. You don't have to sit there and support the message of the people involved with it. Hell, look at us. We cover Hollywood shit. Fuck these people in Hollywood and all of their opinions. But look at me, like James Gunn. Everybody knows I had a big problem with James Gunn, when he got fired and everything and what he did. But at the end of the day, James Gunn, I think, makes good movies. You know what I mean? And most people in Hollywood are psychopathic freaks anyway. But if you make good entertainment, that's all I really care about. So do you think this movie has a chance to hit, I don't know, $300-400 million worldwide, Josiah?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it does internationally. I think that, the thing is that trafficking is obviously an issue that's like across the board. And I think that with that, I think there's going to be a lot of people that will be going to see this movie. And I can see this movie doing pretty good numbers in a lot of these countries. So, I think there's definitely a possibility with the way that it's just continuing to just go crazy in the box office. It's absolutely really cool to see. So I think there's definitely a pretty high possibility that this movie could actually hit it, which is just insane to think about. But I can see it landing like around 400, maybe.
Dude, if it does that, and it's crazy, but you make a good point about like the trafficking issue. It's not like it's just a U.S. issue.
Yeah.
It's an international, it's a worldwide issue. You know what I mean? So, and what I meant by like you don't have to back the people with their beliefs, I meant like the real world politics. There's like a lot of stuff like Jim Caviezel and people like whatever. Obviously, Orange Man Bad promoted this movie, so that clearly means that anyone that lines up with that type of narrative can't touch it. They can't talk about it. Trump, endorsed it, and that kind of shows you what kind of mindless zombies they are. So. But the thing is, million, man.
The thing is that like it's really cool because Jeremy Jahns did a review for Sound of Freedom.
Yep,
and that was like one of his highest viewed reviews in like this past year. Besides Oppenheimer for him is like over 1 million views now. But besides that, it was Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom has like 960,000 views, I think, and that's like one of his highest reviewed videos that he's done in a long time. So, you can just even see from that there's a lot of interest, a lot of demand for this movie. People are just, totally engaged with what is happening with this movie. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think, Beardo?
Yeah, I'm looking at this list of countries that it's going to drop, and right there in the middle, you see a lot of Central American and South American countries. And if you've seen Sound of Freedom, you know that a lot of the stuff, a lot of the trafficking funnels through Central America and South America. So I think this movie could really do well there. And I think that if it picks up steam and word of mouth, like how it did here in the States, you can see those movies blowing up there. Obviously, in the United Kingdom, I think, it'll do well. South Africa as well. I think absolutely this thing has the legs and the momentum right now through word of mouth and just the messaging through it to potentially hit 300 million, 400 million. And man, wouldn't that be crazy to see? And and really, not only is the movie good, is it a good thriller, but also has the good messaging. Us, the fans, by giving and donating and going to see it multiple times and doing it, has given them the opportunity financially to go and put these movies in other countries. So everything on all cylinders is clicking for this film, and you love to see it.
Yep, 100%, man. It's awesome. Love seeing it, and hopefully this movie just continues to just rock and roll because it's well deserved. And I'm happy we were able to support it. Shout out to the Snake Pit Cobra Cast. We were donated up to 100 tickets, $1,500 worth. So that was super cool. And we will continue to monitor this, even though we were accused on Tuesday Night's Main Event of never talking about Sound of Freedom, but you're talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer, but you're not focusing on Sound of Freedom, which is just nonsense. And anybody that watches this channel knows that. It is what it is, though. I talked about that a little bit on Cobra Cast last night about how, I get accused of being this more Jeremy hates everything. He's negative. And then you like one fucking Nolan movie and suddenly you're like, oh, you're a simp for Nolan. It's like, dude, I criticized Tenet. I mean, obviously I'm a huge Nolan fan. I criticized Tenet. I acknowledge the problems in The Dark Knight Rises. God,
it's so funny because I've had a lot of people actually reaching out to me recently because I've been starting to stream games again on Kick, and they're like, what are you doing, Josiah? You aren't engaging seriously with the culture war anymore. You're playing games on Kick. How dare you? And it's like, what? Okay.
Are we not allowed to have a personal life and have fun and hang out with friends?
Fun. You have to be serious the entire time.
Man, and the more people give me shit about Fortnite, the more I just want to play Fortnite. So we just got news. We just got this in. Holy crap. Barbie continuing to crush it.
Insane.
Barbie's box office empire expanded another $23 million on Wednesday. It is now at $237 million total. This movie is fucking crushing it. Holy crap. Okay, so I watched the first 40 minutes. Again, Warner Brothers was nice enough to send me I think it was Bangladesh screening with all of the Bangladesh ads in it and all that. So thank you, Warner Brothers. They're big fans of Geeks and Gamers. They love Geeks and Gamers. They were really happy with the work we did with Snyder, Zack Snyder, and the Snyder Cut. Thank you, Warner Brothers. Appreciate that. But so yes, so I watched the first 40 minutes so far. I mean, so the only reason I'm watching this movie is because people are talking about it, and there's this massive discussion about it. I never cared about this movie. I never cared to watch it. I never had I had zero interest in it whatsoever from just watching it. The first 40 minutes, I don't have any real issues with the first 40 minutes. I'm watching on my phone, and so I can imagine that it looks really cool if you're watching it in the cinema, with the production design and everything like that. But I haven't watched your review yet, Josiah, yours and Mike's. Obviously, Ryan talked a little bit about it, and what do you like? What did you think of it, Josiah?
So, yeah, I mean, I'm very much torn between this movie because on one hand, I think if this movie, if they didn't have any of the, identity politics stuff in it, if they didn't have any of the political agenda type of stuff that was prevalent throughout this entire film, if this film had just focused on telling the story of Barbie, telling the story of how, kind of this coming of age type of story of her, discovering humanity, discovering, themes of death and things like that. I think if they had just stuck to that, this film could have been amazing. I think that this film actually had the potential of being something that was truly incredible. But unfortunately, because of all that extra baggage that they decided to put into this film, it just taints it for me. I just can't really enjoy it the way that I wish I could have. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think that Greta Gerwig, to be honest, is actually like a really talented writer and director. I think that she, but unfortunately, she's just such a flaming feminist. It's hard to really enjoy anything that she makes because of that. So yeah, it's definitely kind of a mixed bag for me. I can see why there's a lot of people that like this movie. And I, even when I was in the cinema and stuff, when I was watching it, tons of people were just enjoying the hell out of this movie, man. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that I think this movie, because of the fact that they actually kept it entertaining throughout it, I think the fact that they continued to have good production design, good acting, good writing and stuff throughout the film, despite all of the identity politics in it, I think that is probably what's helping continue to drive this movie successfully because of that. So, yeah, man, it's definitely kind of a mixed bag for me because of that, but I can see why there's people that like this movie. So, yeah.
And Beardo, have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I don't have.
So it wasn't
any
made
desire.
for you, huh? So it wasn't made for you.
Yeah. And shout out to Chris Karan. I'm sorry. I know he bought me a ticket. We were supposed to go together. I canceled last minute. I feel bad about it. But no, the movie wasn't made for me. But no, I have zero interest in seeing this movie. And knowing nothing about the movie, just what I've heard through the grapevine on the internet and Twitter, I can't help but feel like there's a certain lump of people who are forcing themselves to like this movie out of spite because of people trying to, cancel, or not cancel because our side doesn't really cancel, just kind of bringing awareness to kind of like the political messaging that's going on in the movie. And, be aware, maybe don't necessarily spend your money and give money to people that hate you, that sort of thing. I do think that there's people who might disagree with our side, so they're forcing themselves to like this movie and forcing themselves, saying, this movie is so great, this is the movie that I needed my entire life, I cried during this movie was absolutely amazing, it moved me emotionally. It's another fish out of water movie, from what I understand. And how many times have we been beaten over the head with these fish out of water movies? They're getting old at this point, and maybe that's why they needed to add this extra dimension to the fish out of water story, making it fight the patriarchy in the movie. But, I mean, I don't understand the mass appeal. Maybe to certain women who were obsessed with Barbies as a kid, sure. But ultimately, I just think people are forcing themselves to like it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, there's a lot of contrarians are out there, and they have to have a different opinion of just to kind of stand out or feel like I can get noticed if I have a different opinion or if I go against the grain. I have one this might be kind of controversial, and I'm going to be very careful with what I say here because I don't want to lose my audience. But I've got a controversial take after the first 40 minutes of Barbie. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
Margot Robbie's fucking hot.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Margot Robbie's pretty damn hot.
No.
I know. Margot Robbie's pretty damn hot. So I just want to put that out there. I hope I don't offend anyone. But yeah, that's my controversial opinion based on the first 40 minutes.
Man, you're going to get a lot of hate for that one.
Not as hot as Fat Barbie, though, right? Like,
yeah. Is there a Fat Barbie in the movie?
Yes,
there is.
Yes.
Yeah, and a tranny one too.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah. I
Man,
don't.
Yeah.
You know what? I am gonna go see this movie.
So I'd be curious to see what you think after you finish watching it, because towards the end, like, holy shit, there's some insane political nonsense.
Really?
Towards the end, yeah.
I heard the second half is really bad.
It is. Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, man. And it's weird because now, I mean, the fact that this movie is still doing the numbers that it's doing is kind of surprising to me, to be honest. But the only thing that I can think is that there's just there are a lot of people that are really enjoying this film, and they are, getting all their girlfriends to go see it and all of this type of stuff. And the fact that this movie is doing the numbers that it's doing is surprising. But now Mattel's like expanding to like doing some other things too, like Hot Wheels, Polly Pockets, all this type of stuff. So
what are they gonna do to Hot Wheels, man? Are they gonna make the cars fucking gay?
That's what I was wondering. Like,
what kind of political bullshit are they gonna spin on Hot Wheels?
The thing is that this movie, because of the success that it has, all it's going to do is just continue to encourage Hollywood to do more of this type of political nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know how they're going to take this, because the fact that this movie is doing so well with all of the anti-men messaging that's in it, and all the feminist stuff that's in it, are they then going to start to actually ramp up more of that type of stuff in their films? Like, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how this kind of shifts things that are happening in Hollywood. So,
yeah, I had heard there was I can't remember, some tweets from some prominent non-woke people, and basically, and they were like, "Oh, this movie's based," and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, that's an interesting take, I guess. I don't know if I would agree with that. I mean, but again, I haven't seen the whole thing, but yeah, from everything I Drinker ripped it apart. Drinker ripped it apart. Ben Shapiro, which I'm not even the biggest fan of Shapiro, but apparently he had a 43-minute breakdown of it. And so interesting discussion surrounding this movie. And I do think it's going to continue to do well. I don't know, these numbers are stupid, man. For it to be pulling 25, 26, 27, $23 million, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it's pulling, it's crazy. And then Oppenheimer's crushing it too. Yep. Oppenheimer. Now, I haven't gotten the updated numbers from Oppenheimer yet for today, but Oppenheimer's been doing 12. Here we go right here. So here's the actual numbers for Wednesday. Just came in right here. So Barbie, 23 million. Oppenheimer, another 10 million. Sound of Freedom at $3 million. Still outpacing Mission Impossible 7. And Elemental coming in at $1 million. So Sound of Freedom continuing to be number 3.
Yeah. And Indiana Jones is just falling off the planet, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
it's done, dude.
It's done. It's over. But honestly, so is Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible just has not been able to power through this, man.
Yeah, it's true.
It has not been able to power through this. So I think I do agree with Ryan in terms of what he's saying about there is a great lesson to be learned from this, that if you make things that are focused on women, and if you just make things that are focused on men, that's how the world should be. But no, they want to keep trying to, with Barbie. That's why I have a hard time being angry about the movie. Because at the end of the day, it is a movie for women, made for women, because that's a Barbie movie. And it's made for women and gay men. So essentially made for women. So, and I get it. If you're a gay dude and you like this movie, I think that makes 100% sense. Hey, it works for you. You identify with that. I get that. That makes sense to me. I do understand that. But the lesson is don't hijack properties that are predominantly historically male properties to push your feminist bullshit. Utilize your female properties if you want to do that, and then the audience can decide if they like that. And clearly the audience has decided that they like Barbie. The audience is deciding they like it. Great. Yeah. Give them more of it. Just leave that shit out of the male properties. And Oppenheimer and Barbie were the classic example. And not to say that Oppenheimer was specifically made for men, but it certainly wasn't made for the Barbie crowd. You know what I mean? And people are going out to see it. As a rated R movie, Oppenheimer is absolutely crushing it right now. Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan's biggest opening outside of the Batman movies ever. So we're talking Inception, we're talking Interstellar, we're talking Dunkirk, all of those properties. Oppenheimer, a rated R biopic that's full of dialogue, 3 hours, his biggest opening ever outside of Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. That's crazy.
I think it's dangerous, not dangerous, but with Barbie getting this kind of money, and for the political messaging, you've seen what Hollywood and these studios do. They're willing to lose millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars pushing these political messaging in movies that aren't branded or marketed towards women. Now that this one is marketed towards women and it is getting this traction and making millions of dollars, this is only going to solidify their case to try to put it into other movies that are marketed towards men, because ultimately, who do they want to prove the point to? The man. Who do they want to prove the point to? Clearly, the patriarchy. So, and if they're getting wind that, hey, straight men aren't seeing this movie, men aren't seeing this movie, they're calling this political propaganda. What they're going to do with this hundreds of millions of dollars this movie's making and the kind of support that they're getting, they're just going to say, oh, let's put it in other movies too. Let's fight the patriarchy even harder and fucking put this, nonsense in movies that are marketed towards men. I think that's where it's going.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Let's see. Jeff says, I wonder if Jeremy would like a Nolan directing a G.I. Joe movie. Shockingly, no. I wouldn't want to do Nolan direct a G.I. Joe movie. If I had my perfect director, I would probably take somebody like Matthew Vaughn to direct a G.I. Joe movie. That's who I would take. I don't think Nolan works for G.I. Joe. I'm not saying it will be the worst thing ever. It's just not my preferred choice for that. I want Nolan to continue to do original shit. Focusing in on the passion projects he has. I don't want him touching G.I. Joe. So like a Matthew Vaughn, I think would be fantastic for that, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, again, everybody's like, oh, Nolan, like, yeah, I do, I love Nolan, but it doesn't mean like I never wanted Nolan to do a Star Wars movie. That question that always came up. I'm like, I don't think Nolan doing a Star Wars movie would be good. I know Nolan wants to do a Bond movie. I guess that would work. I mean, he's clearly a huge Bond fan. He's talked about this for decades now. But I don't want him for G.I. Joe. That would, to me, I don't think that would work. Fuck it, give it to Tom Cruise. Let Tom Cruise just star. Let Tom Cruise be General Hawk, and just give me a Top Gun Maverick style G.I. Joe movie with Tom Cruise as General Hawk. Let's go.
What if
that's what I need?
What if the guys behind the John Wick series took over G.I. Joe?
I'd be okay with that. 100%.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely. That would be cool as hell.
I think that'd be a good fit.
Yeah, that'd be good. It'd be really good. All right, we got some super chats to catch up on here. We got Steven Wasick, MCU fan, is back and pushing QAnon narrative. YouTuber Shoe on Head called it QAnon porn as well. Remember that Destiny and Vito are like that freak from Bloomberg. This is not a political movie. F. Campia and Grace too. It is not. Sound of Freedom is not a political movie, and you are an idiot if you think it's a political movie. You may think the people behind it have their political motivations, and guess what? They do, just like everybody does in Hollywood. You just don't agree with the ones that are behind Sound of Freedom. But the Sound of Freedom movie is not political at all. It just isn't. There is no politics in the world. Now, did Shoe on Head call it that? I don't know. I haven't heard that. I actually like Shoe on Head. I don't know her, but I'm just saying I've been aware of her for a long time. So I would be curious if she actually said that or not. But
the thing is that a lot of these people view everything politically. You know what I mean? Like every movie that comes out, they have to look at it through a political lens, and so that's exactly what they're doing. Sound of Freedom too. They just can't help themselves to this point, and that's the thing, right? Like we're actually the ones that don't want that to be the case. We don't want everything to be political. And so, if once we get like films like Sound of Freedom coming out, we're not talking about the politics. We're talking about the story. We're talking about the characters. We're talking about, the things that actually matter in this film, the themes and things like that. And that's how it should be. That's how every film should be. But unfortunately, these people want to put politics in everything. Doesn't matter what it is,
right? They pick and choose what they hyper-focus on, because they're hyper-focusing on Sound of Freedom, saying that it's political propaganda, but then turn the other cheek to Barbie.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
Exactly. Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying Shoe was joking with that take, which that sounds like Shoe being very sarcastic about it. I don't think she would say that. But again, she's definitely got different opinions than me a lot. But a lot of people were saying she was just joking or using sarcasm, which she's very good at and does that very often.
Yeah,
so I just want to note that. Just want to note that. Disco Cobra 450. 50. So I still haven't seen Sound of Freedom. I might wait till it comes out on their website. Although I did buy people some tickets and donated to their foundation. That's all that matters, brother. Figure I wanted to support in any way possible. These are important. These are important messages. Absolutely, man. And that's what I would urge people. Like, if you, I understand there's people that just don't want to go see this movie because they think it'll be too difficult to watch or whatever. And I would definitely say, like, if you feel that way, then it probably will be too difficult for you to watch. But you can still support this movie in any way, shape, or form, even if it's just one ticket. You know what I mean? Just going out there and paying it forward. I think that's a very respectable thing for sure. Okay, Cole Hauser with the 199. Yo, Joe.
Yes,
Yo.
What do you guys think about, like, chat? I didn't see what the chat said, but I think Matthew Vaughn directing a G.I. Joe movie would be pretty badass. I think that would be cool. So David Nelson says, thanks for the entertainment from the 199 Legion. Bro, yesterday, so Steph texted me during Critics Court. And here's the thing. I had no idea. This was so funny with Critics Court yesterday. So we had Chris Gore on Tuesday night's main event. Shout out to Chris Gore. We played the intro. We promoted it. And then Steph was they had Critics Court yesterday, the finale, and Steph had texted me. She goes, "Hey, they're showing your highlights from when you were prosecuting," and the whole chat was just flooded with 199s. Like, it was insane how many 199s were in the chat. It was crazy. So Steph texted me. She goes, "Hey, they're in the chat." So I went in there and dropped the 199, and then made it even more, people coming in there even more with the 199s. What's funny is, so the show was live when this was going on. It was just showing the highlights at the moment. Chris Gore had sent me the link, and he's like, "Hop on whenever you can, man." I didn't know that. I didn't get the notification. So as I'm in the chat, this was after he had sent me the link, and I'm sure he was like, "Why the fuck is this asshole in the chat?" But he didn't come on the stream. So I didn't know. I'm like, dude, I didn't know. I would have came on, but it is what it is. So, but shout out to all of you guys for dropping those 199s as always. Linko Kenobi, hey guys, what's up? I uploaded pics and a couple of videos on Twitter of my cartoon collection. Hey Jeremy, have you ever watched G.I. Joe Resolute? Yes, Resolute is fantastic. I think the ending, it doesn't stick the landing as much as I want to with the ending. They did they gender swapped dial tone, which is bullshit, but the movie overall is great. And I do like G.I. Joe Resolute a lot. I own it. I own the toy line from it as well. So yes, G.I. Joe Resolute is awesome. Josiah.
Oh boy, it's time. It's time, baby. All right.
Have you seen this, Beardo? The Secret Invasion thing?
I've seen a screenshot.
Yeah, that's all I've seen.
I've seen a screenshot. I have not watched a second of the show. I'm checked out on all the Disney Plus Marvel shows. Who gives a fuck anymore? And as far as MCU goes, I'm really only interested in the movies that I'm already interested in, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, and everything else. I will hold off.
So I have not seen a second of Secret Invasion. Okay, I have not seen a second of it, and I don't plan to ever watch a second of it, especially after what we just saw. So thank you to Gary from Nerdrotic for ruining everything by posting this. But this right here, apparently, if I'm not mistaken, is this the finale, chat? Is this the finale?
Apparently it's from the finale.
Yeah.
This was in the finale for a Secret Invasion right here.
No. No fucking way, dude. What? They didn't. They did not, dude. What?
Are you kidding me, bro?
So
holy crap.
Because obviously this is... Can the chat confirm or deny, is this a female scroll or is this a male scroll?
That's... Yeah.
Or is there such thing?
That's what I want to know, yeah.
Chilcon Karma says, and they kissed too. Oh my god. Yes, they kissed.
Clearly. Yeah, they're going in for the smooch.
Yeah. Man, dude.
It's female. It is female. Are you kidding me right now, bro? What the fuck is happening? What is happening? Like, Nick Fury used to be respected. He was a good character. People like Samuel L. Jackson's performance was good. This is where we are with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is awful, man.
This was worse than anything that I had pictured of what you're gonna show, dude. Like,
good
what
God.
a disaster, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Nick Fury pronouns in bio.
They, of course, it had to ruin Nick Fury next. You know, can't have any badass men in Marvel anymore.
No, not at all. Holy
man,
crap,
dude.
Yeah,
and I know that. Yeah, go ahead.
I can't believe this.
I know.
I already have a problem with romance and fucking action movies anyway. Jesus, this takes it to another level. My God.
Did you guys see what the other spoiler was for this show? How they ruined Rhodey?
No, but do you have it?
Oh,
so since Civil War, Rhodey has been a Skrull the entire time. He's been in like this hyperbaric, like cryo sleep this entire time. So that means in Endgame, when Tony Stark died, and he was, when Rhodey went to his funeral, and then when he was there when Tony Stark was dying after the snap, and Rhodey was there like looking at him and telling Tony that it was okay. It wasn't even the real Rhodey. Rhodey wasn't there. It was a Skrull the entire fucking time.
That, to me, that has to be like that has to be something that they came up with for Secret Invasion
for this show.
I mean? Yeah.
Again, let's recap. The Marvel Cinematic Universe was, without a doubt, without a debate, the most successful thing we have ever seen in Hollywood. Like, there's nothing that's come close, man. The amount of films that they had, the world building, the character development, the intertwining, it was fantastic. Now, again, I've never been the biggest fan per se of a lot of the independent, like some of the individual films I felt really fell flat. I liked the first Avengers. I don't think the first Avengers holds up on like rewatches as well as I wanted it to, but that first time I ever saw the Avengers was truly one of the great cinematic experiences ever. You know what I mean? It was amazing to watch that on the big screen for the first time. Multiple repeat viewings, really, it didn't hold up that well. Age of Ultron was fine. I liked it, but it wasn't like the most memorable thing. Infinity War is phenomenal. Infinity War is the best movie in MCU history. Obviously, I liked Endgame more than most. A lot of people hated on Endgame. I liked Endgame.
I like Endgame, yeah.
But like, in the Guardians movies are good too, and the Captain America movies. But like, there's a lot of those movies that just don't hold up as well, But that's neither here nor there. You still, the overall world building is incredible. It's incredible. And they have just completely destroyed this to a point where I didn't think they could go this bad. I didn't think they could do it this bad. Like, Josiah used to be a huge fan of the MCU. It used to be your baby.
Yeah.
Now, look at what do you think about it now, Josiah?
Dude, I don't give a fuck about the MCU anymore, dude. Like, oh, man. They have not put out a good... Well, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was good. But I think a lot of that had to do with it being James Gunn and the fact that James Gunn kept it still kind of like detached from a lot of what was happening with the rest of the MCU and stuff. It was kind of like its own thing, like it could live as its own thing. It didn't need to rely on anything else that was happening in the MCU. Besides that, everything else has been terrible. Black Panther 2 was bad. Ant-Man 3 was bad. Eternals was terrible, and they've ever since Endgame, man, it's just been dud after dud, just complete trash.
There's been two after Endgame: Spider-Man No Way Home and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are the only good ones.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, I'm so checked out of the MCU at this point, and I think there's a lot of people that are kind of like in that same boat, and I don't know if it's necessarily because of the same reasons that I am, but I think that a lot of people are just kind of over the MCU at this point, just because of the fact that they just can't. It feels, especially with Phase 4, it just feels like that they just kind of like were confused. They were just treading water. They didn't know exactly what they wanted to do, and it's just kind of gotten to the point where the MCU is just like in this really, really bad spot right now. And especially, you know, with the way they're treating all these characters and kind of like making them like these like weird garbage, like discounted versions of the ones that we saw from the first 3 phases. It's just absolutely insane how bad it's fallen off. It's crazy, man.
It is. And I mean, like I've talked about this, I'm in the same place with MCU as I am the Star Wars universe. Is just like I don't even have the energy to talk about it anymore. I don't have enough passion to talk about it anymore. We had to talk, like Secret Invasion's been going on. I've been seeing people roast Secret Invasion. I've been seeing all of that, and that's fine. People need to be doing that. I'm just saying that for me, like I'm emotionally just mentally checked out of all this stuff. But that picture, I was like, holy shit, really? It's that bad? And it is that bad. And the same for Star Wars. Marvel and Star Wars, like I still have a little bit of faith in DC moving forward, just because they haven't ruined everything with identity politics. Because I think I said this, was it on either a daily or something like that. But basically, as much as I don't like the Zack Snyder movies, the DC movies, it's not that like they're not ruined by identity politics. It's just a different vision. I can live with a different vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I can live with that. What I can't live with is you just making it propaganda for the sake of propaganda. And DC hasn't done that, although DC is not done spectacular either. DC's lost their audience in a different way, so I guess congratulations to them for that one. But you know, we'll see moving forward. But yeah, MCU's pretty much dead to me at this point, and so is Star Wars. And I don't know how they get back. I guess I could see I could see Marvel getting back to form far before I could see Star Wars getting back to form. Because Star Wars is not it's not a multiverse. It's not different timelines, different iterations. It's one timeline. You know what I mean? You can't unfuck up what you fucked up. You just can't do it. With the MCU, you can technically fix it, and it's justifiable from that perspective. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with DC, because Blue Beetle is going to be coming out in a couple months, and
have you heard the projections for that?
Yeah, it's abysmal. It's abysmal. But obviously that's that's a movie that's going to have clearly identity politics in it, if we're going to take what the director's been saying seriously. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if that's the direction they're going to continue to go. Obviously that's not necessarily like under the James Gunn's new thing and stuff, but you know, that it's interesting that that DC and Warner Brothers seemed like they were starting to kind of flirt with the idea of doing identity politics with Blue Beetle, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of where James Gunn kind of takes it after that, I guess. But yeah, it's Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's in trouble, man.
I hate the media. So Blue Beetle is projected to open at like $15 million opening weekend. I was just searching it out to see like what people were saying about it. Look what Collider has. Look at this story. Blue Beetle may be the superhero movie we need right now. What the
What does that even mean?
What?
Here's the problem with Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is like a C-list DC character. Why are they introducing him for the first time in his own standalone movie? This is a character that you bring in as a mysterious character in somebody else's movie or in an ensemble movie like Justice League. You bring him in, you don't really know who this cat is, and then all of a sudden towards the end, oh, it's this guy Blue Beetle, and then you roll out his movie after you've already introduced him. Nobody gives a fuck about Blue Beetle to the point where it's like, oh yeah, Blue Beetle movie, let's go! Like, nobody cares about Blue Beetle like that. It's so fucking stupid. And here's the thing with James Gunn. Yeah, his Guardians movies are great. Yeah, he's a kind of probably a weird fucking dude in real life. We've seen some of that from his past history and tweets and some of that stuff. But everything that he has said right now, if it doesn't involve his DC, you can't fucking believe it. He said that The Flash was the best superhero movie he's ever seen. You know that was fucking bullshit and coming out of his ass, and he only did it because he wanted that movie to be successful, because he wanted to rake in as much money as he can. Anything that he's saying positively about Blue Beetle, think the exact opposite of it.
Yep.
Like, you cannot trust what he's saying about this current DC movies, about Aquaman, none of it. You can only take what he says at face value if it's regarding his DC universe.
Yeah, and as I highlighted, like, Joe Voss's comment, but yeah, like, maybe don't take a shot at your number one superhero.
Yes.
In your trailer.
The thing is,
just an idea.
The thing is that when Marvel had kind of like the trust behind their brand and stuff, they were able to put out like C-list, superheroes like the Avengers and stuff, or not the Avengers, the Guardians. The Guardians weren't ever like a huge thing, but Marvel made it a huge thing through their film. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that they had the trust behind the brand of Marvel at that point. People were going to see everything that Marvel was putting out because Marvel was totally on fire at that point. And they also put out a good movie. You know what I mean? Like, they put out a movie that didn't have to have any sort of identity politics stuff in it, or, shit on, Captain America or anything like that. They didn't have to do anything like that. And so I think that if you are actually like a brand that's actually a brand that people can trust, which DC clearly is not at this point, Marvel's not at this point, or Star Wars. But if you were in that place, you could put out a movie like this and it could do well, but it's just not, they're just not at the place right now where they can do that. So,
yep. Yeah, and to that point, and as you said that, I was thinking about this whole argument and going back to the Barbie movie and how some people are saying that there's, it's this or it's misinterpreted or whatever. And it's like, it's being interpreted however it needs to be interpreted because of Hollywood and what they've given us. If you don't want your movie to be interpreted a certain way, maybe stop giving us a shitstorm of feminist propaganda. Maybe stop doing that. Maybe stop trying to feminize every fucking property out there. And then when you do have one movie that comes out that you feel is trying to tell a certain story from a certain perspective based on a historically female-driven property, then maybe it'll be taken a little bit differently. But Hollywood has not earned that reputation. They have earned the reputation to actively criticize everything they're doing and don't give them any benefit of the doubt. Fuck Hollywood. Fuck all of them.
And then when they do it and it fails, they place blame on us, the fans, the other counterculture. They place blame to say it's not us, it's you guys. But then when it does well, they're like, look what we did, baby. We're geniuses. Let's do it more.
Yep. Pull up, as Keenan says. Pull up.
Pull up.
Pull up. I love when Rufus says that. Look, you trying to fight me? He's like, what? No.
Let's pull up and have a nice, friendly conversation.
Pull up, baby. All these betas talk shit to Ripa, and then he's like, pull up. And they're like, what? Like, have a conversation, bro. Pull up. Let's talk. And they're like getting all scared.
You can tell how many people just did not play sports growing up.
I know it, dude.
Hey, I saw one of them was walking up a hill. Like, that's actually a pretty big deal. Like, that's crazy, man.
Wow.
Can you imagine walking up a hill? That's
the athleticism.
Yeah.
Oh man, so good. There's our boy Tom in the chat. Tom. We missed you on Battlefront last night.
No, we didn't.
I have successfully bullied Josiah. I think he's going to join us for Battlefront now on Wednesdays. I think I've successfully bullied him. What do you think, Josiah? Is it going to happen?
I don't think you bullied me hard enough for that yet.
The people want to see Josiah on Battlefront. Dude, it's so fun. It's so good.
Maybe I'll try, maybe I'll give it a shot.
The people loved seeing us play Battlefront. The people loved it. All right.
It is a good time.
It's fun, man. It's fun. All right, Beardo, let's read the super chats.
Yeah. Jenna Hughes for a $10 says, all I hear is criticize. Brownie points if you can reference the movie that came from. Great to see you three hashing it out.
I can't reference it off the top of my head.
Not sure.
I'm assuming Sound of Freedom, right? Or Barbie. One of those two. Captain Hyrule for $10. Weird take, but I predict the next movie to get left-wing backlash will be Five Nights at Freddy's. The original creator, Scott Cawthon, is an unapologetic Christian and constantly gets crap for it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's also a Trump supporter. So
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Was that from Django? That line must be from Django. That's what they were saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen that.
One of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yes.
Blake Barrett for $2. Hail Jeremy Osteen and the 199.
Jeremy Osteen. Jeremy Osteen showed up last night. I mean, super chats show up. Jeremy Osteen follows. He sees those red super chats. He can't help himself. So we had a good cover cast last night.
Sogond's nuts for $10. Love you guys, but I think y'all are missing the entire message of Barbie. It's actually a very intelligent movie that makes some very good points on both political sides.
Yeah, that would be it. If that's the case, then that would go against everything Hollywood has been doing for the past 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time believing that Hollywood, Mattel, and a historically female property. I have a hard time believing that this is the time that they've decided to be fair to both sides. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, and Greta Gerwig's past history and stuff as well. Like it's not like she's like based or anything. She's like clearly extremely feminist, extremely left, and so I just do not understand where people are coming from with this. Like, are they talking about like the fact that Ken embraces the patriarchy and stuff, which even at the end of the film he still becomes a cuck. So it doesn't really matter, because at the end it's not like you have this thing where at the end of the film there's equality that's achieved. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the film you have it basically going back to the way it was in Barbie Land, where all the women are still ruling everything. The men are still just like their little simp boys and stuff like that. And so nothing really changes at the end besides Barbie, becoming human, basically. You know what I mean? Like, so
if it's an accidental situation, then that's one thing. I reject the premise that the filmmakers involved with this project set out to give you very equal treatment on both sides in a Barbie movie. So they've destroyed Star Wars, they've destroyed Marvel. They've destroyed pretty much every property you could imagine that had any, relevancy to males or, young boys playing with toys and all of that. All of those full-on forces female bullshit, identity politics. But Barbie's where we're going to tell a really equal story with a historically female.
Right.
That just, again, it may have accidentally done that. It 100%, there is not a chance in hell you're going to ever convince me that the filmmakers involved set out to do that. Not a chance.
So from what I'm gathering, I haven't seen Barbie and I'm not going to, but from what I'm gathering, it starts off with the Kens being homeless, a second-class citizen to the Barbies. The Kens try to rise up to get some sort of equality, and then the Barbies are reaffirmed in their original spot where they were right the entire time, and Kens are second-class citizens, and that's how the movie ends.
Because what happens is Ken goes to the human world with Barbie. He finds out about the patriarchy and stuff, which apparently is like horses. That's kind of like what the big deal is men and horses and stuff, and being cool. And so he then comes back to Barbie Land and he's like, hey, you know what? I kind of like this patriarchy thing. He gets all the dudes on board. They start to they take over the houses and all this type of stuff. But the hilarious thing about it is that then the Barbies actually end up becoming almost like they almost become like kind of like the real world and stuff. You see a lot of these Barbies like becoming almost like the helpmeets of the Kens and stuff, and they're like like cooking them food and doing all this type of stuff, watching The Godfather with them and doing all these crazy things. And then the funny thing about it, and this is why I do not believe in this whole thing that the movie is secretly based and stuff, because then you have this one character who gives this crazy speech about how women have always been the victims. Women are always, completely persecuted throughout history, all this type of stuff. And so then they have to go around and they have to give this like monologue speech to all these different Barbies to wake them up from the fact that they are, watching The Godfather with Kens and serving the patriarchy and all this type of stuff. And then they have to then wake up from that that world that they're living in, that kind of like dream thing of the patriarchy. And then they have to basically take back everything from Barbie in Barbie Land from the Kens again and stuff. So I just do not see where this whole idea of like the movie having this nuance of, trying to have political commentary from both sides. I just do not see it. I do not see it in the film at all.
So it starts with Barbies being first-class citizens and ends with them being back in first-class citizens, and it is solidified and, that's the belief the entire time, and they were correct about it. So there you go.
Right.
Okay, I just saw a comment, and I know I do this too with certain words, but Josiah and Stuff, name a more iconic duo, because he always says and stuff. I think somebody called me out for every time I end a sentence, I go, so, and kind of make the person pick up from it.
Yeah.
Somebody said that in the chat, and I got so self-conscious. I'm like, fuck, I say that a lot. So anyway,
really
there we go.
That's
I
really
did it
funny.
again. Fuck me.
Hayden for 10. So at this point, can we just assume that Disney is actively trying to crash everything that we loved? This is a conscious decision. There's no way they actually expect people to like this, right?
No, it's 100% an active decision. Again, they weaponized everything against the entire audience with Last Jedi, and it hasn't changed.
Yep. Dragon Dam for $10. Weird question, but why are today's feminists even a thing? We had the Civil Rights Act. Exactly what rights do they not have that they want? Call these feminists what they actually are: incels.
Incels. Look at there. Miss Cannoli Sasquatch says Barbie was a disgrace to both men and women. Hell yeah.
Boom.
There we go.
Based. Bashy Washy became a member earlier today. Thank you. Blue Shell, we got that one. King of Diet Coke for 1 month. Barbie to $1 billion? No! Wonder if Marvels will do surprisingly well, actually. Now I see how Captain Marvel made so much. Captain Marvel made so much because it was sandwiched in between the two most important Avengers movies.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Yep, that was strategically done. Barbie is an iconic American iconic brand that every single person knows and has a connection with in some way, shape, or form. Even men understand the significance of Barbie. And Barbie is it's the Star Wars or the G.I. Joe for little girls' toys, and it's just an iconic thing. And then you get someone like Margot Robbie cast in that role. You get Ryan Gosling as Ken. You get the unique set designs and everything like that, and the marketing was phenomenal for this
marketing
movie.
Was honestly some of the best marketing I've ever seen for Barbie. So
yeah, I just said so again. Fuck. Anyway,
anyway,
now Minority Home's just roasting everything I say now. So
Jocelyn,
I'm not talking anymore. I'm just not gonna talk.
So
get him out.
Shut up and stuff.
Just shut up and stuff. Jocelyn for 2 months. Hail G&G 199. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Jocelyn. Ethan Flash for 2 months. We heard that all the guys have to say about Barbie, but what do the Geeks and Gamers girls, Steph, Krista, and Beardo, think of it?
Steph seen it?
Oh, I've seen Barbie.
I like how you included Beardo.
Yeah. Thank you, Ethan Flash. I thought we were cool.
All right, Steph, what you got?
So I think that the marketing was completely just wrong, and it was intentional. Greta Gerwig made it that way. The marketing was intentionally leaving out all of the feminist stuff in there. I think that they should have stayed in Barbie Land. If they had to go to the real world, that they needed to do it a lot differently. They had a lot of potential in that movie. And I think that instead of showing the matriarchy in Barbie Land, what they should have done was have Barbie and Ken. That's their biggest mistake, is not putting Ken with Barbie, because they are an iconic duo in little girls' eyes. You have Barbie and you have Ken and their boyfriend, girlfriend. What they should have done in Barbie Land was make it like a utopia where there is equality amongst Barbie and Ken, and everything is, is just sunshine and roses, and they have like this optimism in Barbie land, because when you're a child and you're playing with these toys, your parents are telling you can grow up to be anything you want to be. That's why they have all of these different Barbies. They have veterinarian Barbie, they have Dr. Barbie, they have Judge Barbie, they have Coach Barbie, they have Teacher Barbie. They have so many different Barbie options for little girls. And some of these little girls that played with Barbies grew up to be doctors and vets. And, they have all these little different interests. And so they had the potential to make something really great. They could have shown, if Barbie went to the real world, that, hey, we did take some inspiration from Barbie. And, hey, look, I played with Barbie and I played with vet Barbie and I became a vet. And they could have shown Barbie go into the real world. And maybe it's not so sunshine and roses and there's so much optimism. There is struggle, because when you get older, you sort of lose that optimism and you become you get more responsibilities and, things that happen in your life and different struggles and different, heartbreaks and things. So you sort of lose that optimism as you get older. And Barbie learns that. And maybe she does meet this mother and daughter, and the mother and daughter take her to their house and show her, how things work in the real world, and how, it's not all sunshine and roses, but at the same time, you do find happiness in your life,
This sounds terrible. This sounds
well,
fucking
I'm just
terrible.
saying they had the potential to do something, and instead they showed like this fucking matriarchy Barbie world where the Barbies rule all, and then you go into the real world, and it is just an extreme like terrible society where all of the men are just misogynist assholes. Why on earth would Barbie choose to go back there and live there? If immediately she's inundated with like these feelings of, I feel like I'm being attacked, and it's kind of angry towards me, and it's violent. Why would she go back and choose to live there when those are the immediate feelings that she's feeling?
Fuck this movie. Give me machine guns.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Give me explosions, machine guns.
They really had the opportunity to actually send like a good message in a Barbie movie to inspire, the women and little girls watching it, because that's pretty much what Barbie is. And they completely missed it. And instead, like they made this terrible movie where Barbie treats Ken like shit. And, all of the men are misogynist assholes in the real world. And, basically like a gay allegory in Barbie world. Like it's terrible. It's and I don't even think that they actually knew what kind of message that they wanted to send with this movie. I really don't.
Now it's a Simcast because of you, Steph. So, well, yeah, this movie sucks. So basically, that's what we're doing. So.
Some of the comments right now are so funny. Like, is there a porn Barbie?
If you just strip off her clothes, it could be.
Just like with all the OnlyFans stuff that's going on nowadays, it's like if there was a porn Barbie as a kid, and the girls are like, "Oh yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm inspired."
Yeah. All right, we're over an hour, so we got to finish these super chats. So thank you, Steph.
Thank you,
Steph.
Yep.
I'm gonna blast through them. Kenneth became a member for 6 months. Thank you, Kenneth. Kate T for $5. If someone calls me a racist for not liking race swapped insert movie here, I call them pedos for not liking Sound of Freedom. Those are the rules.
Those are the rules.
King of Diet Coke for a $5. I feel like so many women, including right-leaning women, have accepted this movie because it looks great, is Barbie, but missed the subliminal messaging. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I think a lot of people are forcing themselves to like this movie, even though it's not that great.
Yep. Agreed. Real quick, before you do that, I got to show this because we were talking about it earlier. Look at this right here. Secret Invasion episodes. Look at episode 6.
Sheesh.
Wow. The finale is currently the lowest rated MCU episode ever. Good job. It's just toxic fans, though, ladies and gentlemen. It's just those toxic Trump-supporting MAGA fans. They're just review bombing it. That's all it is. Fuck Marvel.
All right, that's all it is. Forever Sci-Fi for 2 months. I'm not surprised. Women lean left, so woke is okay with many of them. That's not the messaging Hollywood will pull from that.
Yeah.
Blake Barrett for $2. God's children not for sale is just a conspiracy.
It's a goddamn conspiracy, as Epic Mike would say.
Subhuman gifted 5 Geeks and Gamers memberships. Shout out. Thank you. Jay's Tiggled Biddies for a 199. Samara Weaving is a lab clone of Margot Robbie. Eli Saul for 2 months. Nick Fury doing that gangsta love 199. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson is into hentai, so I'm not surprised that he'd be into some of that weird shit. Bethesda's Lore Master for $5. Frost takes on Barbie. Margot Robbie isn't there just to be easy on the eyes for you.
Yes,
Mech,
she is.
Yes, she is. Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street? Come on. Mech for 2 months. DC was on track for a third wave feminism with Batgirl and the new all-female Trinity. Then they got saved by Zaslav. Hail the 199.
Hail the 199.
Hail. Nut Bunny for a 35 in a different country. Thank you. Says, I found the podcast of the Lotus Eaters take on Barbie interesting. That is accidentally based despite on the feminism it's trying to show. You should check it out.
Yeah, accidentally, I can accept it being accidentally potentially, but I reject the fact that they intentionally made this any based messaging whatsoever.
Yeah.
Darius H became a member. Thank you, Darius. Chuck Campbell for $5. Saw Barbie last night with my daughter. One of the dumbest movies I've ever seen, but parts were funny. Ryan's review is probably the most accurate.
Yeah, I liked Ryan's. Ryan was pretty, interesting to hear his breakdown of it. So, I mean, I will watch this movie at some point. I'm 40 minutes into it. I'm not going to watch it on the big screen. I'm not going to a theater. That would be super gamer word. But I mean, Josiah did it with Mike, so that sounds.
Actually, we saw it separately. It was funny though because.
So you saw it alone, 2 men and alone, all alone. Oh, that's even.
It was hilarious. When I was there at the theater, okay, there's literally like women everywhere, right? Like there's this like 3 older women like in their like 60s or something that came in and they sat down next to me and stuff, and one of them turned to me and she was like, "So why are you here?"
Dude, if she just would have walked up to you and said, "I got news for you,"
and I was like, "I'm here for Margot Robbie." That's what I said. And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm here for Ryan Gosling." I was like, "Well, there we go. I guess we're in the same boat." And I was like, "No, I'm here to do a professional movie review for the film for Geeks.
You don't know me. I'm Josiah Rises. How
then they got pissed at me.
You should have told her. You should have said, "Hey, step off, or I'll put you in my next thumbnail." All right, so
I'll make you leave Hollywood. Let me tell you,
I could ruin your life with one video.
Yeah, and then I got them really pissed at the end of the movie because they loved the movie. They were just clapping, cheering, crying the entire time and stuff. And then when the movie was over, she turned to me and she was like, "So, what did you think?" And I was like, "The movie is trash." And she got up and walked away. She just stood right up and just walked out of the theater, dude.
Rabbit for $2. Repeal the 19th. Ryan Kinnell's FU filter. Andrew for a 2,500 in check says, speaking of Sound of Freedom, here's an idea for the epic verse. Sound of MCU fans' ass cheeks being smacked by the chat.
Holy shit. Damn.
May Runes Dragon for a 199. Did you guys see the hashtag 199 on AEW last night?
No.
Haven't seen it.
What was that about?
I don't know. Did you guys see the hashtag 199 on AEW last night?
I need to know more about this.
Somebody else for $2. TNME theme song, time issue or creative issue?
Time. I mean, I guess a little bit of creative issue trying to figure out how we want to formulate it. But me and Dan, just last week, we were talking about how we need to get this pinned down. So,
Dagon?
Well, we do.
They're
we
saying
do have
it's Dagon? Oh, Dagon. Mayrune's Dagon. My bad.
We do have Open the Door, which is pretty great.
Yep. Andrew for another 2,500 check says Secret Invasion of the Gays. Fictitious Dave for a $5. Don't Barbie reestablish the matriarchy in Barbie world only to leave it in favor of a so-called male lead world that is meant to be oppressive?
I can't say
Can you read that one more time?
Don't Barbies reestablish the matriarchy in Barbie world, only to leave it in favor of a so-called male lead world that is meant to be oppressive?
Yeah, I mean, she does leave the Barbie world at the end. I don't know if that necessarily has anything to do. To me, it seems like it's more about Barbie wanting to become human in a way, and they don't really address the fact that, hey, are you sure you want to like come to our world that you think is so terrible and stuff? You know, they don't, because that's kind of what the message was throughout the whole film, was that the human world is terrible. It's run by the patriarchy and stuff. But they don't really address that at the end in any sort of way. It just becomes more about like Barbie and what she personally wants to do and stuff. So they don't really address that. And so because of that, I don't think they really were trying to make it any sort of base message where she wants to come to this world because of, it's run by men or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like that's not the message that they're trying to go for at the end. So, yeah.
A feline named JJ for $5. Is it gay if they, them is an alien? Beardo would booty call a scroll if they look super hot. I mean, if they didn't look like a scroll and they look like Haley Atwell, I'm down. The Exalted...
You're going into ass territory.
Listen, if it's a chick scroll looking like a hot chick, then yeah, I'll probably be down. The Exalted Patriarch for a $5. Was that Marvel trying to copy the original Star Trek Kirk and I'm gonna mispronounce this and the chat's gonna hate me. Star Trek Kirk and Ura kiss.
Uhura.
Marvel is bereft of original thought, terrible and beyond cringe. Thank you. Ryan Miller for a $4.99. Secret Invasion is a prime example that Disney is willing to die on that hill because they got what they wanted, but they've lost families.
Hang on, I gotta play it. I gotta play it now that it's come up. Here we go. This is seriously one of the greatest moments in internet history.
You can't go.
Good job.
Oh no!
I thought so. I had to put my foot down, and it was hard. It was a hard decision because she got a nice rack.
And the woman that they actually had playing the girl that was getting married, she's actually trans, and I don't know if people knew that.
I just thought she was ugly.
Yeah, that's a dude.
I said she had a nice rack.
Hey, the one.
Got you.
Wait,
A trap.
So when
A trap.
it's a trap. When the two women started arguing and he jumped out of the window, that was the only scene I could identify with.
I identify with that so
entire
much.
series.
Like,
I think they're setting up the villain to be an incel, and it's probably one of the dudes she dated.
Oh my god, it was so.
That's how she was so obsessed with She-Hulk's actual boobs.
Quarter fucking timeline.
I do too.
Hey, Az, you didn't fucking jerk off to her, did you?
He did. He did.
All right. I'm just getting flashbacks to the Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah. I love Az, dude.
So good, dude.
Az is such a great guy, man. He's the best. He's the best. You can see the look on his face. He's like, what?
Oh boy.
So good, man.
Mike Rosin for $5. The United Nations changed global warming to global boiling. Eat the bugs, own nothing, and be happy. Yep. Klaus Schwab. Neo for $5. You guys see the trailer Netflix put out for Castlevania Nocturne? Looks promising. Plus, we get to see Richard Belmont take the spotlight.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out when this is done. We'll see. I know Steph put it in the private chat. We got to end this though because we're way over on time. So.
Paula Vider Gamer for $5. If you thought Barbie was it, behold, there are plans for a Mattel universe. Hail the 199. Stay strong and stay angry.
Yep.
Gay Hot Wheels, everyone. It's coming.
Board poured for $2. About to see Haunted Mansion today. I didn't pay for it.
I think it's gonna be really bad. So we'll see. The first one wasn't that great. With the one with Eddie Murphy, and I mean, I love the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney, but not really looking forward to this one. By the way, someone said the AEW was there was their 199th episode, so that's actually pretty cool. So that must be what it was. That's awesome.
Christian Rocker for $5. Don't feel bad, Jeremy. At least you don't have the race of your life every race. So, hey. What are you talking about?
Who said it?
Who said it? And so for a 199 says, and so.
And so and stuff.
And stuff.
Disco Cobra for $20. You cannot pay me to see any of this woke garbage, not even for review purposes. I saw Synthetic Man, a YouTuber, call anyone who pays for Barbie a beta cuck. I don't agree with him, but I still don't want to support that.
Yeah. I don't like gatekeeping people's money. You can do what you want with your money. You know, you can support whatever you want to support. I think when you start gatekeeping people's money, I think that you put yourself in a really tough spot because, like I said, I mean, I have an Android phone. I give Google Play money all the fucking time. You know, most of you have either an Android or an Apple. You're gonna give them money. Okay, you know, do you think Apple doesn't support a lot of these companies that are doing this shit? Because they do. It's a very slippery slope. So I just don't like doing that. I don't like gatekeeping people's money. You do what you want with your money. I do what I want with my money and my time. And at the end of the day, we'll let the chips fall where they may.
Yep. Bethesda's Lore Master for $5. Here's money for the As clip. It's hilarious every single time.
It is. It is.
Let me check if there's any more that I missed. Doesn't.
It should be it. It should be it.
Doesn't look like it. That's it.
All right. So we got a member stream tonight. Fortnite, and then we'll probably run some afterwards too, right, Josiah?
Oh, hell yeah.
Kick. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So there we go on that. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Another Geeks Gamers Daily in the books. Did we get that Disco Cobra's 20? We did get that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Disco Cobra. And I am getting bombarded with requests for two different things: more Cobra Cast. And bring bragging rights back. That's what people want. The people want bragging rights to return. I hear you. I appreciate all the feedback. You guys are the best. So we will be working on that. And stuff. I said so and stuff. So, and I said so again. Fuck me, dude.
Hell yeah.
It's over. I don't know how to speak on YouTube anymore.
It's over. End the stream.
I wanted to say so, but I didn't say it. So now it throws me off when I don't say that, because then I think of another word and I don't have my flow.
So
they're like, what am I supposed to say now? Jeez.
Jay's blank screen for $2.
Stuff. Instead of so, I'm going to say and stuff.
Yeah. Jay's blank screen for $2 says drawing a blank. Shout out. Thank you for the 2.
Let's go, Stuff Army.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll see you tonight for the member stream, and then we will be. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. This big celebrity shows up as we're ending it.
And actually, real quick, me and Jay are going live over on his channel right now for High Testosterone Thursdays with Drunk 3PO and Beardo. We're going live like right now, so go ahead over there.
There we go. And don't forget, with me and Josiah.
I know words. I have the best words. But there's no better word than stupid.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Go check out Drunk 3PO and Fear the Beardo. Have a great day, and we talk to you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.